Hey gang, it's Luke Austin, week 16 of my fantasy football favorites. It's championship week. So first off, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's watched the videos throughout the season this year. It's been really cool to see the views go up on each video. Hopefully I was able to help your team out more than I hurt it this year. So without further ado, it's championship week. Let's see what we got. I'm going to start off with quarterbacks as usual. I really like Case Keenum this week for the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing a tough Green Bay team, and Case Keenum, he's been a top fantasy player all year, 17 plus points in 7 straight games. If he's an option for you, I definitely like Case Keenum. Jared Goff is at the Titans. The Titans haven't been very good the last few weeks, pretty much all season long. Meanwhile, the Rams are just rolling. I like Goff to throw the ball around this week. You think the Titans might focus on Todd Gurley after the game he had last week. So I really like Jared Goff this week. Moving on to running backs, Dion Lewis from the New England Patriots. Rex Burkhead is out with an injury. Dion Lewis is back, and he's playing the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have given up the most PPR points to running backs this season. So Dion Lewis, definitely a great option if you can grab him. Giovanni Bernard and Joe Mixon, the Cincinnati Bengals, are playing Detroit. Detroit's given up 16 touchdowns to running backs this season and 26 PPR points per game to running backs. So if Giovanni Bernard or Joe Mixon are an option for you, just go with one of them. I wouldn't handcuff both of them. And moving on to wide receivers. Not a ton of wide receivers I really like this week, but one that stood out is Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers. They are playing Houston. Antonio Brown is out, so Smith-Schuster probably move up to that #1 spot. Big Ben really likes him. We've seen that all year. And the Texans give up a ton of points on defense, especially through the air, so I like him. And as far as sits go, sit Kirk Cousins this week. He's playing the Broncos. Tough Broncos defense. The Redskins have struggled with injuries on offense all season long. Don't like Kirk Cousins this week, plus the last few weeks he's put up kind of some stinker of games. Jimmy Garoppolo versus the Jags. The 49ers have had a couple of good weeks. Jimmy Grops looks good, but it's the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Sit Jimmy Grops. Marshawn Lynch, I don't like him this week either. He's facing a really tough Eagles run defense that hasn't allowed a single rushing touchdown when they're at home this year. So, yeah, avoid Marshawn Lynch. The Eagles are really tough on the run. And finally, Randall Cobb. He historically struggles versus the Vikings. He has something like 9 career touchdowns versus the Vikings, and he's played them twice a year his entire career. So, even though Cobb and Hundley kind of have a little bit of a deal, I don't like Cobb this week. Stick with any other Packers receiver if you have to. So, quick recap. Case Keenum I like versus Green Bay. I like Jared Goff versus the Titans. Dion Lewis is a great pick. Giovanni Bernard or Joe Mixon from the Bengals. Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers. Sit Kirk Cousins. Sit Jimmy Garoppolo. Sit Marshawn Lynch. And sit Randall Cobb. So I am officially out of all of the championship games in my fantasy football leagues, but I hope you are not. And if you are in the championship game, let's get you that win. Good luck in the championship in Week 16. And thank you once again for watching Luke's Fantasy Football Favorites all season long.